Tonight on CTV News at 5, advocates are reminding drivers about slowing down and moving over when tow trucks and other vehicles are on the side of the highway following a deadly collision this week. Plus, a high-risk reoffender pleads guilty to a breach of release conditions. What's next for Kevin Kaler? And local entrepreneurs generating tens of thousands of dollars through a Kickstarter campaign, setting a Canadian fundraising record. CTV News at 5 starts right now. Good afternoon. Thank you for joining us. First at 5, following a fatal crash on Wednesday where a tow truck driver was killed on the Highway 401, we're hearing about the safety challenges operators face on highways. Let's bring in CTV's Colton Weens for more on this. Colton, you spoke with a towing company in Kitchener. What did they tell you?
Well, Ashley, I spoke with the manager of Active Towing on Victoria Street earlier. Al Pinero tells me he didn't know the 42-year-old Kitchener man that was killed on Wednesday, but says it's a terrifying example of why drivers need to slow down around emergency vehicles. Pinero says when it comes to local roads, most people move over and slow down when they see a tow truck working on the shoulder, but on highways, it's often a different story. In Ontario, drivers must slow down when they see an emergency vehicle or tow truck with flashing lights and must move over if it's safe to do so. Offenders can face a fine of $400 to $2,000, 3 demerit points, and could have their license suspended. Pinero says despite the law, he still sees things all the time.
We've been parked in front of a police car with them having their lights on, us having our lights on, picking up a vehicle, and they whiz by. So yeah, I think, like I said, the public is oblivious to that law and to what's kind of going on around them.
Now, Pinero adds when they're working on the highway, about half of the time they're out there, the operator's on the side of the tow truck closest to the live lanes. And if operators thought of the risk every time, they'd likely not want to do the job anymore. At 6, we'll hear from CAA with more details about the slow down and move over law. Ashley.
CTV's Colton Weens reporting live for us tonight. Thank you, Colton. A Kitchener man deemed a high-risk offender has admitted to purchasing alcohol just hours after a judge ordered him not to. Kevin Kaler pleaded guilty to court to the offense that happened October 16th. Court heard he had just been released with a number of conditions, including that he abstain from purchasing and consuming alcohol. When he was spotted buying a bottle of fortified wine from the LCBO on Victoria Street in Kitchener, Kaler admits to making the purchase, but says it was for someone else, and he didn't drink it. He remains behind bars awaiting a date to finish the plea and to be sentenced. A group search for a missing Kitchener resident has now been called off. 25-year-old Eli Wood disappeared after a fire at Major Street home back in October. People in the community plan to spend part of Sunday searching a wooded area near the Grand River. The search has now been canceled due to snowy weather conditions and safety concerns. Organizers say they're now focusing efforts on planning a vigil and fundraiser for Eli's family instead. Okay, it's time for our first check on weather. And Leanne, I got to tell you, when I took my dog out this morning, I needed my winter coat, I needed my hat, scarf, and mitts, but I also needed a heated vest. It was cold
and
this
you know
morning.
why? That is because we reached an overnight low of -20, and that's without the wind chill. So
oh my word.
It was freezing out there this morning. Thankfully, things improved throughout the day. You know, we ended up having a beautiful winter afternoon, plenty of sunshine out there today. So, whew, I think you and I are both thankful that things got better through the day because it was frigid out there this morning. Currently sitting at -4 in Waterloo region, many surrounding communities around that same mark this hour. It does feel a little bit cooler when we factor in the wind chill, closer to -10 into the minus double digits, but nowhere near what we felt like this morning and overnight last night as well. When we look at the current satellite and radar, the sun has now set or is setting. It's set. It's dark out there. Yeah, so, you know, a little bit of cloud cover. Dark already. It's crazy to think. You know, we're just past 5 o'clock, and I'm still getting used to the sun setting. It's around 4:45 right now, so just not used to it yet.
Nope, not used to it yet. Let's take a look outside. You can see how dark indeed it's getting there.
Yeah, okay. We're not quite pitch black, but the sun has definitely set. It was nice to see all that sunshine out there today. Live look from downtown Kitchener, I believe, tonight.
Absolutely. Thank you, Leanne. All right, as we head into our first break, here's what you need to know. Head to Uptown Waterloo tonight for the tree lighting ceremony. The event kicks off at 6. Dress warm, bring your skates, and get into the festive spirit.
Download the CTV News app and stay on top of local stories as they unfold.
We go to a dramatic scene unfolding.
Customize your feed and watch live wherever you are. ctvkitchener.ca, your home for news.
Kicking off the Christmas season the Bavarian way. The 29th annual Christkindl market is back in downtown Kitchener, a tradition that proved popular even on a bitterly cold night. CTV's Karis Mapp was there to open it for the season.
And how the reindeer loved him, as he shouted out with glee.
A frosty night for day one of Kitchener's 29th annual Christkindl market, bringing in both regulars.
We finished our work day in Hamilton. I got a haircut at 5:30. He picked me up at 6:30, and I Ubered to the haircut place so that he can pick me up at the haircut place. We came all this way just to hit this market because it's the first opening day.
And first-timers.
We've been going to University of Waterloo for 4 years now and haven't really explored Kitchener much. So we came to Oktoberfest, which was really, really cool. And then I just work up downtown Kitchener and I heard about this festival today and I came to check it out.
With nearly 100 vendors to browse through, everyone came for something a little different.
I always like to see the little handmade ornaments and ceramics and that sort of thing.
There's so many cute things to do, but there's also a lot of space and activity to do with your dog outside, which is really great as well.
But everyone agreeing on the excitement to try the various food options.
Treats and hot chocolates. I saw a cannoli place over there that I really want to try.
Can't go wrong with the sausage on a bun.
Absolutely, this is our third course because we hit up already for the authentic German stuff at these stalls right outside City Hall here. We did the schnitzel, we did the meatloaf, we did bratwurst.
Have to do bratwurst.
Yeah. Then we pivoted and went down this way to see what that tent was about because we already spotted the apple fritters, which is going to be our next stop.
Leaving a little taste of Germany in downtown Kitchener.
I've actually been to Bavaria. I went to Munich, so it's been really cool seeing that culture brought here.
It's not a lot of people can afford to travel right now, so it's nice to just be able to, it's a hop, skip, and a jump from your house, and you still get that same feeling.
Karis Mapp, CTV News, Kitchener.
All right, now that temperatures have dropped, home cooking and warm meals become even more heartfelt this time of year. Joining us is, of course, Chef Emily Richards. And Emily, we're talking about something very close, near and dear to your heart.
We are, very much so.
The 10-year anniversary of Par La Familia.
That's right. It's 10 years. And, I think everything should be celebrated. And I actually didn't think that 10 years would go by this quickly. And people still want the book. So I'm very grateful for that. And the stories that come along with it. They're looking for family recipes because they've lost their nonna or their aunts or their moms, and they want those recipes in the family. And I was lucky enough to cook with my grandmother for a very long time and get some of those recipes.
Wow.
And so to know that they are helping out other families means a lot. I get goosebumps when I think about it, and I'm lucky enough to get emails and stories from people that they're sharing that now their kids and grandkids can enjoy the food that they grew up with.
Absolutely.
So it is very special. And other than, the new cover of the cookbook, the inside is still kind of where the heart of the food and family is.
Fantastic, and that's right. So this is the new version of the book that people can go out and purchase still. And we're going to talk about some of the incredible recipes that are in the book today, starting with these guys right here.
So these are olives, which, a lot of people put them out. Get them from the fridge or open up a jar. We're going to add a little bit of flavor to them and warm them up because that really brings out a ton of great addition to the olives. So I'm going to give you some fresh rosemary and also some fresh thyme. So this can be any fresh herbs that would work really, really well. And then some citrus. So if I gave you a lemon, just a little strip of lemon or orange or lime, and that just starts to bring out a little bit of the herbs and the lemon flavor, which works really, really nicely with the olives. And then I like a little bit of heat. I know you do too.
I do like a little heat.
So I'll give you that, and you can add a little pinch of the red pepper flakes. And what this does is it just warms up the olives with the flavors and the aromas. So this is kind of great to do when your guests are coming because that fills the kitchen with a great flavor, and you just kind of want to stir it up. And these olives that I'm using, these green ones, are called Jedignola olives.
Okay.
So they have a sweeter flavor, and then there's these nice black olives that have a little bit of a dried texture to them. But as they warm up in the oil, they plump up.
Fantastic.
And they have such a great flavor.
What a nice way to sort of, re-energize a dish that we more than likely have in our fridge already.
Well, I don't know how old the olives are, so this is a great this is a great way to kind of revive them.
Now, for our sort of main dish, we've got some. I wish you guys could smell this. It's pancetta.
It is pancetta, onions, and garlic, and a little bit of oil. It's the base of what's called an amatriciana sauce, which is very popular in Rome, and Rome is where kind of southern Italy starts for a lot of people. So this is great because it's so simple. All I'm going to get you to do is add this can of tomatoes now.
I can do that.
And these happen to be San Marzano tomatoes.
Okay.
They have a beautiful sweetness to them. They also are a bit meatier. And so you'll notice that they're whole tomatoes.
Yes.
So what you're going to do is take this potato masher and just give them a little mash.
Okay.
And what that does is gives you a nice coarse textured sauce that is perfect for really any type of pasta. And the benefit of this sauce is that you're basically done.
Right.
Actually, that's it.
Wow. It's nice and easy, quick
It's nice and easy, but what you're gonna do is just let this simmer for about 15-20 minutes, and then I have one here, so we're gonna switch over to this guy. And what happens is you get this really nice thick sauce. You get those nice little bits of flavor from the pancetta that's rendered the fat. And then you can season this with a little bit of salt, a little bit of hot pepper flakes too. You're gonna take your drained pasta, and this is a trick that I love telling people. Make your sauce in something big enough that you can toss your pasta in, so that what ends up happening is that it stays nice and hot.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so
Good
that when
tip.
you go to serve it, it's good to go.
Oh, that looks fantastic. But last but not least, and maybe my favorite thing you've brought for us today, is this little dessert number. Please tell me about it.
So
and when can I eat it?
Well, here, what I'm going to do is quickly wipe off our little bit of sauce, and you're going to whisk together our sauce for it, which is marmalade, orange, and lemon juice. This is a panettone bread pudding. So panettone is that Christmas cake that you see Italians gifting each other. They're in a lot of stores right now. You might end up with a few during the holidays. This is a great way to cut it up. You make a custard, bake it, breakfast, lunch, dinner, treats. So you can
everywhere in between.
Exactly. So this is great warm. You can scoop it up, and I like to serve it with that little marmalade sauce because it brings out more of that citrus flavor, and it's absolutely wonderful. You can drizzle it with chocolate. You can have it on its own. It's great cold, and it's really just great because you're sharing it with family and friends over the holidays. And I think that's what's great about Per la Familia. It means for the family. And that's what these recipes are. They're for the family and friends.
Well, from me and my family to yours, happy holidays and congratulations on 10 years.
Thanks so much.
Holiday set decoration provided by Royal City Nursery.
And despite the cold weather I was going to say this Monday, but this Friday, the sun decided to make an appearance. But I think a lot of people at home might want to know about precipitation going into the weekend. Of course, a lot of holiday parties and get-togethers already happening this early in December.
I was going to say, Ash, are you going to relive the whole week over again?
I need the weekend.
You and many people, you're not alone. And for anyone going to those holiday parties, you might want to bundle up and make sure you have the winter boots and winter jacket, because we are going to see some messy conditions over the next 48 hours or so. Not necessarily an exact snowstorm, but there will be some snowfall and accumulation as well. So we'll talk all about that. But first, a live look from Cambridge City Hall tonight. Look at that gorgeous Christmas tree in the middle of town there. And I think the city of Cambridge has their Winterfest going on this weekend. So there's something you can do if you are in Cambridge or visiting. Yeah, great activities to get to this weekend. And it looks like a beautiful evening to go check out the tree down there, maybe get a hot chocolate, keep yourself warm. Temperatures, thankfully, have been quite pleasant for this winter December day. We actually ended up getting up to a daytime high of -3 in Waterloo region. Now, Temperatures warmed up through the day, but didn't start out that way. Overnight last night, we ended up reaching a low of -20, which was actually record-setting for the daytime low on this day. The old record, -16, was set in 2007. So that came around 2 to 3 o'clock early this morning. Temperatures have been rising slowly ever since, and we ended up with a beautiful winter afternoon. Plenty of sunshine out there locally. It was great. Hopefully I had the chance to get outside. Of course, if you're bundled up, it was pretty comfortable. Here's temperatures across Ontario tonight. -6 in Thunder Bay through Timmins, -5 in Sudbury. It is -10 in Ottawa this hour, -4 in London, -6 in Mount Forest. And closer to home, -4 here locally, -3 in Hamilton right now. Overnight tonight, not going to be as cold as it was last night. -7. It'll feel like -13 when we factor in that wind chill, and we are set to see a system bring a little bit of snowfall. We'll talk about that in the future cast. Tomorrow, however, warming up to -1. It'll feel like -11 in the early morning hours, but by the afternoon, about -7. So you get the jacket, you'll be okay. However, it could be a little bit messy. We have a risk of seeing some freezing drizzle through the afternoon as temperatures edge closer to that freezing mark. So here's how things look. We're watching a pair of Alberta clippers that are going to bring in some snowfall from Western Canada once it passes over the Great Lakes. The first happening overnight tonight. As you can see, it's quite a widespread swath of snow that we're waking up to on Saturday morning. However, like I said, not a full snowstorm, but enough to have some accumulation here locally. And that second system will be moving in on Sunday, having a bigger impact on eastern portions of the province. But we will see that snowfall persist here as well. Looking at anywhere from about 2 to 4 centimeters of localized accumulation here in Waterloo region. Here's your 5-day forecast and how things look. 7-day forecast and how things look. -3 will be the daytime high on Sunday, and those overnight lows are still on the cooler side of things, not quite like what we saw last night. However, Monday, plenty of sunshine, great way to start the week. Ashley.
Well, it's a big day for soccer fans. FIFA held a flashy group draw in Washington, D.C. today, and we now know who Canada will be playing in the first round.
Mr. Carney, do you want to start? Don't forget, and pick the right ball, please. Already chosen. Okay, let's see which team will be drawn by Mr. Mark Carney. Oh, Canada! Oh, congratulations. Canada, ladies and gentlemen, the first team drawn.
Canada's Group B will include Switzerland, Qatar, and an unknown team. Starting in June, 100 games will be played across North America for the tournament. Canada will host 13 of them, marking the first time the tournament is played on Canadian soil. And here's what you need to know. Head over to TWB Cooperative tonight for Krampus Night Party. Warm up with chili and gather around the fire to roast hot dogs and marshmallows. It starts at 6 p.m.
To build a toy mountain.
Make this holiday season merry for so many kids.
Bring new unwrapped toys to your local Canadian Tire.
All in support of the Salvation Army.
We'll be collecting donations from November 19th to December 24th.
With all donations helping families right here in our community.
Toy Mountain, supported by the Core Group, Goman's Appliances, and the Crack Specialists.
Let's make this the best toy mountain ever.
Visit ctvkitchener.ca for more ways to donate.
Okay, taking a look at the final 5 stories we're following today. The Ontario Land Tribunal has cleared the way for a major 3-tower condo project at the former site of Preston Springs Hotel. The project has gone through several iterations. Last year, the City of Cambridge passed a motion to cap the development at 15 stories. The OLT ended up siding with the developer. A Preston resident who has been lobbying for years against the project also had his appeal dismissed.
I thought we'd mounted some really good arguments and had really good expert witnesses in heritage and in planning and in traffic. So obviously I'm disappointed in that none of those seem to carry much weight in the final decision. But having said that, I mean, it was a three-way fight. There was the city, the developer, and us. So there's going to be people who are disappointed.
CTV's Heather Centerin will hear from the developer at 6. The federal government is serving Stellantis a notice of default after the automaker shifted some of its production from Brampton to the United States. Stellantis announced in October it was moving planned production of its Jeep Compass to Illinois. Jolly told the Standing Committee on International Trade the move breaches federal contracts tied to manufacturing in Brampton and Windsor. She says the contract for federal funds for a Windsor battery plant included a job guarantee in Brampton. Turning now to the news on the Canadian economy, added 54,000 jobs in November, pushing the unemployment rate to its lowest level in 16 months. Statistics Canada monthly labor survey found the job gains were driven by additions in part-time work linked to healthcare and social assistance sectors. This is the third consecutive month of job gains, with the Canadian economy adding 181,000 new jobs since September. Well, a new photo of former Prime Minister Justin Trudeau and pop star Katy Perry is providing a new hint at where their relationship stands. The couple was spotted in Japan earlier this week. Former Japanese PM Kishida shared a photo of a lunch he and his wife shared with the pair. Trudeau posted afterwards saying, in part, "Great to see you. Katy and I were so glad to have a chance to sit down with you and Yuko." And finally for us, YouTube sensations and engineering wizards Hacksmith Industries are introducing a 21st century take on the classic pocket knife. The Smith blade is much more suited for the concrete jungles and technologies of today. This titanium multi-tool has 21 gadgets packed into an all-encompassing tool, from blades to a glass breaker, wire strippers, fire starter, and even a pen. Those are just some of the tools it features.
So when I was a kid, I was a Boy Scout, and obviously Swiss Army is the Boy Scouts pocket knife. Over the years, I've carried lots of different pocket knives and multi-tools. I've tried Leathermans, but I've never been able to carry one on me at all times because they're usually just a bit too bulky.
CTV's Spencer Turcott will have more on that coming up at 6. All right, well, that is our time. Thank you for watching. We'll have more local news coverage at 6 with Tony Grace. But first, here's CTV National News. Have a good night.